Good evening, Eastern Oregon, and anybody else watching around the state or the United States. Keeping it clear with Cody Bowen. It's what is it? July 16th already? Is it the 6th? It is, huh?
You're getting so old.
July. I'm getting old. You got a few years on me. This is brought to you by Loveland Safe Ride. Yeah, this is their busy time of year right now for Loveland Safe Ride because they're giving rides home to people that are inebriated all over Northeast Oregon. Kevin's put that program together, and they're in like their 21st year or something, and undoubtedly have saved lives, definitely saved DUI tickets. The Keeping It Clear with Cody Bowen show, what are we, in year 3? Or
This is my 5th year, and we started
we're in year
first
5.
year, yeah.
Yeah, so we're in year, oh my gosh, wow. It's a show that promotes transparency with the Union County Sheriff's Office. A little bit later, we're going to have Reserve Corrections Deputy Skylar Williams on as our guest, and we're going to talk a little bit about what goes on in the jail. In the meantime, like I said, transparency, so feel free to fire the questions away in the comments, and I will get them to Cody, and he'll do his best to answer them. Cody, how are you?
I'm outstanding.
Good.
Good.
What's
Glad to
new?
be here. Oh, man. Other than the heat,
I know, it's hot.
the heat's been nice. I was listening to Emergency Manager Vora talk about the potential drought situation that we're going into.
Isn't there a fire just outside of Union County? I think there is.
There could be. There's a couple. I've seen a lot of planes, Borate planes recently.
Yeah.
So they're flying somewhere.
Yeah, I think there's a fire just outside, maybe Umatilla County.
Could be.
But yeah, definitely time to be safe, like right now with things that make fires go.
Absolutely. Yeah.
What's new at the sheriff's office? Like what's going on?
We're rocking and rolling. We've got, we've had unfortunately, we lost one of my deputies.
Yeah.
Deputy Dan Johnson, and
Rest in peace.
that took a toll on all of us. Leading up to it took a toll on all of us. We are a very close-knit family. We are brothers and sisters, and for us to lose someone that close and near and dear to our heart, that took a toll on us. So we've been fighting through that. We are, of course, moving around as far as staffing goes within the office. We are looking to, here next month, we're going to promote somebody to a patrol position. Real exciting, though, I just got a complete signed copy for our new SRO position.
School resource officer.
School resource deputy officer, more commonly known as.
SRD.
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 And so Embler now is going to, in the new school year, they're going to be having the BEST program, which, as some of you know or may not know, that replaced the DARE program. And the BEST program, compared to the DARE program, it is more directed towards Union County and the youth in Union County. So yeah, I'm excited about that. With that, the middle school is going to get significantly more coverage. They're going to have a deputy in the middle school for about 3 to 4 hours every single day, Monday through Friday, dedicated there. Embler is obviously going to get the BEST program, and they're going to get some patrol coverage out there as well. Patrol coverage, but walking the halls and building those relationships with the youth. And then North Powder and Union are also going to get some additional resources as far as really focusing on extracurricular activities. And where that's beneficial to them is, when they have a lot of people come into town, sports in the smaller towns is big. And not that it's not big here, but they fill up their gyms consistently, and there's times that there is some heated fans. They get a little excited when it comes to the kids. So we are going to be able to provide a little bit extra coverage out there for them during those events. And then Cove was very happy with the service they were receiving, so they're gonna remain where they're at right now with the level of coverage they have. So just got that signed by the commissioners this morning, so that'll go into effect. I believe we start at the 1st of August. So,
Nice.
yeah.
Just having an officer visible at games takes things down a notch automatically.
Absolutely.
Because people see a uniform or a badge, and they're like, oh, I better keep myself under control.
For sure. Yeah. Presence alone. Everybody knows when the cop's near or the police car the police car behind you, excuse me, I'm choking here.
Start throwing stuff out the window.
You slow down. You pay a little bit more attention. You behave a little bit better. It's like when mom and dad's in the room, you dial it down a little bit.
Yeah. It's probably very similar, like if the principal's sitting in the classroom for a teacher. You know what I mean?
remember
Like
those days,
that would be horrible. Yeah. Like I don't want my boss sitting. It would be like Brent standing right here behind me, like I got you. You know, like no, yeah. But just the presence alone is huge for that kind of stuff, and I like that. I love that idea. Yeah. This is a transparency show, so somebody needs to break the ice. There's quite a few people watching, so ask a question and we'll get this thing going. We're gonna take a break here, and when we come back, we're gonna have Skylar Williams. He's a reserve corrections deputy up here at the jail, and we're gonna talk a little bit about what goes on there. We'll be right back.
Whether you live on a giant ranch or you just have a backyard garden, the agriculture community is a tight-knit group, and we are all a family together, and we need to feel comfortable to talk about our problems with our family.
Mental health is with everybody. It's something that affects you, and it's something that affects me. It's all of us, and we're all in it together.
I think oftentimes with mental health, people can feel like they are alone and they're the only ones struggling, and I would want them to know that they're not alone.
It takes one text or one phone call to save someone from a mental health crisis.
Talking about mental health means that you are brave, you are strong, and you're not alone.
We as FFA members and we as the younger generation want to help you. So if you're ever feeling alone or afraid, know that there are people of the younger generation that would love to help you. The Agri-Stress Helpline is free, confidential, 24/7, and available by phone or text. The helpline is 833-897-2474.
Eastern Oregon is full of interesting people, with interesting minds and interesting things to say. Here at EO Live, we're committed to connecting you to these intriguing people with EO Talks. We let our special guests share their ideas and life experiences with deep, open, engaging, and inquisitive conversations. You'll also be informed in depth on some of the most recent and relevant events, issues, and more. EO Talks on EO Live, your connection to Eastern Oregon, now on Roku.
I'll read it before we get that. Welcome back. Keeping it clear with Cody Bowen. A beautiful, hot July day here in Eastern Oregon. We're joined by Skylar Williams. He's a reserve corrections deputy. He's a car salesman. He played football at EOU. He has his own business, Mental Health Matters.
Yep, MHM Apparel.
MHM Apparel, and he's going to talk everything about the corrections part of the job today. First off, I'm going to read a comment from Vivian Tyler. She says, "Hello, Cody. I went to high school here when you were our resource officer, and what you have done for our community is amazing. Thank you."
Awesome. Thank you, Vivian.
Yeah. I mean, most of you know, Cody used to be the resource officer, which we were just talking about what the resource officers kind of do. Here at LeGrand High School, when he got the sheriff job, Justin Hernandez moved in as the new resource officer. But let's talk a little bit about the whole corrections part of the job, Cody.
Yeah, one of the crucial fundamental things about having a small rural department is we rely heavily on our volunteers. We rely heavily on our reserve officers. And these are guys and gals that have normal full-time jobs in the community, normal lives, their family, and they have chosen to step up and give back to our community and do something a little bit extra, whether that's on patrol, whether that's in corrections. And outside of their normal 40-hour work week, they're coming up and they're working in the jail and they're providing a service that really helps us backfill anytime even when we're full staff, but when we're shorthanded, vacation, people are sick, whatever comes up, we have a list of reserves, a list of volunteers. We call them and say, hey, can you work tonight? Can you work a full shift tonight? Can you work a couple hours? And every time somebody steps up, somebody like Skylar steps up and says, yeah, I can handle that shift for you. They don't go to the academy. We do an in-house academy, in-house training, if you will. They're all trained hands-on. They're always working with a full-time certified corrections deputy or patrol deputy.
Okay.
Never alone. And yeah, it's like, it's a great opportunity for someone to get their foot in the door. A lot of our patrol reserve deputies and our corrections deputies, a lot, I don't say 90%, but the majority of our guys, including myself, all started in a reserve capacity at one point or another, whether that was on patrol, whether that was in corrections. And it was a great way for the administration to get to know who this person was and how they behaved, how they acted, and more importantly, it shows you, if you really want a field or a career in this field, it gives you the down and dirty of it. This is what you're going to be doing. These are the people you're going to be dealing with. And do you want to do this? Because it takes a special person. It really does.
Yeah.
It takes a special
to not
person.
haul off and smack somebody, I'm sure it does.
Yeah. There's moments.
Yeah. Skylar, let's
sir.
give a little background. Like where you come from. How'd you end up in Eastern Oregon?
I'm originally from Fernley, Nevada, little town outside Reno, Nevada. Actually played football down Fernley, which then got me an offer up here at Eastern Oregon University, thanks to Tim Camp and his coaching staff. And then after I graduated, decided that I want to stay in this area. Really love this area, beautiful area, great community. And after getting the job at Legacy Ford, I became just part of this community at this point, and that's why I ended up taking this corrections job as well. I want to try to give back to the community as much as possible because I've taken a lot from here.
So what's the end goal there? Like, do you want to be a corrections deputy like full time eventually? Or?
Yeah, I want to step into a full time corrections officer position, which I also do want to then become a full time patrol officer.
So you want to take
get the patrol deputy position at a certain point, but just gotta wait my turn. I'm okay with that.
Yeah, you gotta earn it, right?
That's a good problem to have for me, but we don't have a lot of turnover in the office.
No, I can't imagine.
We don't have people that are unhappy with their job. We don't have people that are unhappy with their administration or unhappy with me. We've got a tight-knit family, and everybody we have our moments. I mean, everybody's got a day at work. It is work at the end of the day, but we don't have a lot of turnover. There's not a lot of people leaving, so therefore it doesn't create a lot of openings.
Right. So Skylar, what's the most challenging part of being a reserve corrections deputy?
Just learning the ins and outs of all of it. You're held to the same standard as a full-time corrections officer, right? Because you're still in that jail. We're fully staffed for the majority of the day, but you're still handling a lot of the ins and outs of what a everyday corrections officer will do. So just knowing that going into it is a little bit stressful at times because you're like, hey, if this happens, how do I respond? And like he says, we do a lot of in-house training, but a lot of it is on-the-job training as well.
Absolutely.
So you don't know what you're getting into until
it happens. Yeah.
So that's probably the biggest part of the job right there. But being a quick learner and willing to learn has helped me out tremendously.
So Cody, correct me. These guys aren't paid at all. They just
corrections
volunteer?
deputies are paid for their time.
Oh, the
corrections
the
deputies
reserve
are
guys are?
Yes.
Okay.
That's
I was like,
another perk of it. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, corrections deputies are paid for their time, paid by the hour. Patrol deputies, reserve patrol deputies are not paid unless they work a function that is paying. So a rodeo. If they pay, then that money gets kicked back to that reserve.
Gotcha.
But yeah,
gotcha.
corrections is a paid position. And it's not the most money in the world, but it's enough to, make it worthwhile.
Yeah. I mean, I was going to say, you wouldn't have a lot of people sign up if it's the turnover on the actual job they're trying to eventually get is as slow as it is.
Right.
And then you didn't pay them, you'd have a hard time filling some of those, I would imagine.
Absolutely, yeah. And we still have a hard time filling those positions. I mean, finding people that that qualify for it, that have somewhat, kept, I'd say, kept your nose clean over the years. No major felonies or anything like that. It's not as common as it used to be. And application pool, across the nation. I've heard Chief Bell talk about it. You just don't have the applicant pool to choose from that you used to 10, 15, 20 years ago. 20 years ago, you'd have 100 people applying for one patrol position. Now, if you're lucky, you have maybe double digits. Maybe 10, maybe 15 people that are applying for one job. So. And then getting a lateral transfer, somebody that's certified, somebody that's all geared up, ready to go. This isn't, our cost of living is significantly lower than other places in the state. So that's a benefit. People that want to live in the rural community, that's a benefit.
People that like hunting.
People that like hunting, liking the outdoors.
Fishing,
There's some draws to it. There really is.
For sure.
And not having the turnover, definitely is, if it's not a hot mover, if there's not constant opening, then people really aren't paying attention.
Right. So like percentage wise, and you don't have to give me a exact percent, but like how many of the people that move from corrections to in the car are in-house? Like how often does that happen? Say since you've been here, however many deputies we've hired, full-time in the car, patrol guys, how many of those were actual in-house COs at one time?
The majority of us.
The majority of them?
Yeah.
So you have a better chance.
Absolutely. Yeah. The former sheriff really liked the picking from what we had because he knew what we had. He knew what he was going to get.
Yeah.
Since I've taken office, I like that mentality, but at the same time, I've opened it up to, anybody that's not in the field already. All of our positions, very rarely do we just not open it up to somebody. The last hiring process that we did, we actually created a list of people that, are number one guy or number two guy, guys that scored at a certain level of, to develop a hiring list so I could choose from those people. But the majority of people have come right from in-house.
That's interesting. Keeping It Clear with Cody Bowen. We're a show on transparency. There's quite a few people that are watching, but nobody talking. Nobody asking any questions. You can ask Skylar a question about the jail. You can ask Cody anything about corrections. You can ask us about anything that goes on at Union County Sheriff's Office. I'll ask a question, and I'll just kind of go off of what I said earlier. And it's for you, Skylar. Why? Why do you do it? What do you get out of this?
Just knowing that I'm helping the community. Like I said, I've taken so much out of the last 11 years I've been here from this community, and I've decided I want to give it back. I want to help in any way possible. If that means helping secure the jail, maybe changing a life while I'm in there, or helping somebody else out in there. That's what I'm aiming to do every single day. Whether I know it or not, I don't know yet. But if every day I walk in thinking that and having that mentality, I feel like one day I could reach out to someone and help change their life and their perspective of it.
Yeah, because people aren't in jail for doing good things.
Yeah.
And usually they're not real happy when they're in jail. So just having a good positive attitude. My grandfather was a warden in the Federal Bureau of Prisons. And one of the things he always told me, the way you get by in a job like that is mutual respect.
Yep.
You respect the person, they respect you back, and it's that. And both of you understand your roles. You know what I mean? We talked about a little bit about what's hard about that, but how do you tie say football? Football's a great thing that we could tie into being a corrections officer. Yeah. How do you tie those two together?
One, the work mentality. Just getting up, going to work, knowing that every day is a day to get better.
Yeah.
That has tied in huge in my life when it comes to both corrections and just my everyday life. Staying fit, you don't want to go in there overweight, knowing that you might have to battle a guy that is 260 and 6'9".
That's been in jail for the last 15 years and just
in and out, been gang violence and stuff like that. So being both physically fit and mentally fit, you got to walk in there every day knowing that anything could happen. So staying on your toes is really big, but also like you said, giving that mutual respect for one another, both with my head COs, my sergeants, my lieutenants, treat them like coaches, right? They're teaching me their ways. They brought me into this facility. I need to treat them with the respect that they deserve. Also showing the inmates respect, right? They're in there, it's usually probably one of the worst days of their life is getting locked up again.
Yeah.
And you know that going into it. So just showing them the respect so you can get that respect back is another good thing.
Yeah. Cody, you kind of see it the same way?
I do, 100%. And it's a team effort. You know, none of us are out here doing this ourselves. There's sometimes, of course, we are by ourselves, but we know that we have a tremendous team behind us and support from the community. That team mentality and wanting to work hard for the overall goal of the whole organization, the family that I refer to. On a weekly basis, there's people that come into our jail that spend a day or two, or you know, from out of the area or whatnot, and I get complimented from people that, like Skylar said, had the worst couple days of their lives spending it in jail, and they make a point to find me and say, your deputies were the most respectful people ever. They treated me with dignity. They were respectful to me, and I just want you to know that. And that's huge to me. That customer service level that I strive for as sheriff is I don't want to say trickles down, but it's shared amongst all of my deputies across the platform, front office staff to back in corrections to out on patrol. Customer service is number one for me. And no matter what else, it's what we learned in kindergarten, the golden rule, right? Treat people how you want to be treated. And it pays dividends. It really does.
Yeah, I mean, I'll look at it very similarly as any job. Like if you go to eat dinner at a restaurant, your waitress, your waiter, you want them to, you know what I mean? Like you're not going in there to have somebody like tell you what you need to do with your life and this
Absolutely.
and that. It's like just know your role and do it. Yeah. I mean, it's not that hard. If there's a, you know, like as the sheriff, if there's something in the jail going on, do you hear about it right away, or does it take a little bit to get to, you know what I mean? Because there's obviously a chain of command.
Sure.
And, you know.
Yeah, it depends on the situation, but I kind of pride myself on not micromanaging people. I hire good quality people based off of who they are and their history and their resume, if you will, and I let them do their job. And we all learn things together. Whether it's, you know, we're only as strong as our newest deputy. You know, we are all only as strong as Skylar sitting right here. So if something drastic happens or whatnot, we have a chain of command. Most of the time it's handled up the ranks to a sergeant, to a corporal, to a sergeant, to a lieutenant, and then I'm filled in otherwise. I actually, to be honest with you, I hear a lot of stuff from citizens in the community. So I'll get feedback from stuff and I'll call the guys or something will be on Elkhorn Media and I'll be like, hey, what's going on with this? I'm getting media attention. Those moments, those times, I'm not going to call those deputies or those correctional officer deputies and get in the middle of their way. Because at that point, that's all I'm going to be doing. I'm going to be in their way. So handle the situation, do what you need to do, and then fill me in. Let me know so I can handle it appropriately on my end.
Yeah, because you're going to get questions.
I'm going to get questions.
People
yeah,
out in the,
for sure.
Chris Fletcher says you're a badass.
Chris Fletcher.
Keep it up.
I love that guy. I love that guy. Thanks, Chris.
So as far as the jail part of it, it's very similar to like the patrol part. You have one guy that's in charge of each, right? And then you're in charge of both of them.
Yes.
Is that how it works?
Yeah, I have a patrol lieutenant and a corrections lieutenant.
I couldn't remember what you called them.
Yeah, some sheriff's office have an undersheriff. They have one guy that's in charge of it and that handles both things, and then they have a jail commander that oversees that stuff. When I came into this office, I was faced with two exceptionally organized, well-trained, two individuals that I could have made undersheriff, and I thought, why would I do that? Why not keep both of them right where they're at? And let them handle things. Let Lieutenant Helter handle things. Let Lieutenant Woodward handle things, and it works. They feed off each other. They bounce stuff off each other. They both come to me. They're two different personalities. They both come at me from different angles, different ideas, different thought process. If I have an idea or something and I present it to them, I know I'm going to get two different responses, and that works for our office. It works for projects or goals that we've set. It works very well.
couple more minutes with Skylar here. If you guys have a question, fire it away. There's quite a few people watching. We haven't gotten any questions yet. Nobody's in. Somebody has to break the ice.
Somebody has to
that's
ask
how
a
it works.
question.
As soon as somebody asks, people will start asking. But
Ask a question.
I'll ask you another question. What's a normal day look like? Like say there's somebody out there thinking about they want to be a corrections reserve first.
Yeah.
What's a day look like in there? Like, do you get there and go straight to work? I mean, like,
Yeah.
what does it look like?
I mean, you're in there at 7 a.m. 6:45 for debriefing, knowing who's came in, who's came out, all that fun stuff, or who's going in, who's going out. Normal days, I mean, if you're lucky, it's smooth sailing, right? That's what you hope for every single day. You go in thinking, okay, today, hopefully, I'll be in, get out kind of deal. Because, like I said, it's somebody's worst day, and you don't want to pressure them or get in their way as well to where that escalates. So normal, easy day would be get in, do your rounds, right? Make sure we got everyone in there. No one's checked in, no one's checked out, no one's escaped. And then you do your meals, you do your meds, you do showers, yards. We're held to a high standard as a corrections officer. Thanks to Cody Bowen and everyone else that works inside the jail that's higher up. We're actually held to an even higher standard at that point. So we have check sheets. We have certain protocols that we have to go through every single day. That is our base minimum, and then from there, like I said, our corporals, our lieutenants, our sergeants, they hold us to a higher standard after we do our base minimum. Like I said, we try to stay on top of it, medical wise. Keeping their cells and their blocks clean. So normal day, you go in. Sorry, I kind of got off on a tangent there.
That's all right. No, go ahead.
Go in, do your cell checks. Usually, make sure that you have all your utensils, your medical supplies, all that fun stuff. So if something was to happen, nothing that can be used inside the jail itself. Then noon rolls around, you give them their lunch. You're cycling people in and out of their yard times. You're cycling people in and out of their court dates, their arraignments, their meetings with, if they have drug counseling or alcohol counseling. You're cycling them in and out of that. And then lunchtime's over usually. It's all varies, but like I said, it does. Yeah. It's kind of repetitive. You do your cell checks. You make sure everyone's staying safe and cooperative and clean inside the jail itself, and then you get off at 7 and go home to your family.
So it's a 12-hour. It's just like patrol.
Just like patrol. As a reserve, you do have a little bit more leniency. I've worked 5.5 hours. I've worked 12 hours several times. So it's 12 hours worth of you're inside the jail. You can't go in and out majority of the time, and you're just doing your daily duties.
Interesting. Is that pretty much? Have you ever worked a shift there? You used to reserve, right?
As patrol.
You never did. You never did.
I will say that I have never worked a full shift back in our jail.
You haven't?
Ever.
Oh,
no.
Maybe we need to put that on the list of.
That would be a
things
good
for Cody to
training.
do.
Come on down
for Sheriff.
I got you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
No, did I
follow suit?
Did I start you into a
Just come on
here?
in. I'll be your boss.
Yeah, and all that stuff that he's talking about, and then right in the middle of that, patrol officer or deputy arrests somebody and brings them in, and then you've got to stop everything that you're doing.
And book them.
Big interruption. Book them, fingerprint them, make sure they're showered, they're clothed, and figure out where you're going to put them. So
do they only release people at the same time every day? So say do you only release people from 6 to 7, or can they get out at any time?
It depends on the situation. Depending on when they're arraigned and what that release time looks like, it depends on if they're sober, if it's a DUI and they're coming in.
Right.
It depends. It fluctuates.
So if somebody's sober and somebody comes up and bails them out, you'll let them go.
We'll let them go to a sober, responsible person. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Interesting.
Yeah. I would say, like Skylar, what we're looking for in the corrections area is somebody that can work well with people. Because just like he said, you're back there and it's the worst place that you want to be. Nobody wants to be there.
Right.
So I know that he said, that it's a 12-hour shift, but really, if you can work and fill in a few hours for us, you're available, then you're going to get that call. Just like Skylar, I mean, it takes all kinds of people to do this job, and there's not one blueprint that fits each deputy. You can be any guy out there just living your daily life, and next thing you know, you're trying something new and you're completely falling in love with it. I would encourage anybody that is interested at all, give us a call. Come up and tour the jail. Check it out. Walk around. See what you think. Get involved, helping back in your community, helping out the sheriff's office. If you're interested in that, our door is always open. So please check it out.
Skylar.
Yes, sir.
We'll let you get out of here, but before you go, give yourself a shameless plug. Your business, talk yourself up for a minute.
I own a clothing brand here locally. It's called MHM Apparel. You can follow that on Instagram. It stands for Mental Health Matters.
How do they find it on Instagram?
MHM_apparel or at MHM_apparel_. It's a diamond with the MHM on it if you want to get specific. Just one of my clothing brands I started a year or two ago.
It's been longer than a year or two.
No, MHM has been about 2 years.
Has it?
Yeah, about a year or two now. And
Wow.
it's just something I'm passionate about, mental health, especially among a community that we're staying in right now. We're a small town. We know everybody at the end of the day. So make sure that people are mentally available and helpful. It's huge to me, and just making sure that people are okay. That's what MHM Apparel does. It's not just a clothing brand. I like being reached out to if you have questions. I have some past experience with mental health illnesses. I have a brother who did commit suicide in the past as well. So if you have questions about if a family member has done that, reach out to me. I'm available. I'm open to it. It's something I love talking about. So
it's awesome. All right, well, we're going to take a break. Keeping It Clear with Cody Bowen, brought to you by Loveland Safe Ride. We'll be back in just a minute, and Cody and I will hang out for a little bit longer. We'll talk a little bit, give you the opportunity to ask questions for a few more minutes, and if we don't get anything, we're going to hit the road. So we'll be back right after this.
Whether you live on a giant ranch or you just have a backyard garden, the agriculture community is a tight-knit group, and we are all a family together, and we need to feel comfortable to talk about our problems with our family.
Mental health is with everybody. It's something that affects you, and it's something that affects me. It's all of us, and we're all in it together.
I think oftentimes with mental health, people can feel like they are alone and they're the only ones struggling. And I would want them to know that they're not alone.
It takes one text or one phone call to save someone from a mental health crisis.
Talking about mental health means that you are brave, you are strong, and you're not alone.
We as FFA members and we as the younger generation want to help you. So if you're ever feeling alone or afraid, know that there are people of the younger generation that would love to help you. The Agri-Stress Helpline is free, confidential, 24/7, and available by phone or text. The helpline is 833-897-2474.
Welcome back to Keeping It Clear with Cody Bowen, a show, based and wrapped around transparency in Union County with the Union County Sheriff's Office. It's brought to you by Loveland Safe Ride. That program. Cody, let's talk about that real fast. Let's talk about Loveland Safe Ride and what it's done for this community.
Bottom line, what it's done is it's saved lives.
100%.
You can't even put a number to the amount of lives that the Loveland Safe Ride program not only has given rides home, but the simple fact that those intoxicated or impaired drivers are off the road to possibly victimize someone else. You can't put a number on that. It is something that we in law enforcement rely on heavily, and are very thankful for Kevin Loveland and Jerry and the crew, all the volunteers, the car dealerships that kick in, anybody that's donated to that program. If you want to donate to a program, Loveland Safe Ride program is someplace that your money is very well spent.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And just during those busy events of the year, whether it's round, or Elgin Stampede or New Year's or, 4th of July.
Yeah.
They're always available. They have cars running and all it is a phone call. It's like, hey, I've had a few too many. Come pick me up. No questions asked. Jerry or one of the guys shows up and they pick you up and they take you home and they drop you off. And you can tip if you want, but you don't have to.
Yeah, absolutely. They'll call us before every event that they're working, or even Jerry, just random sometimes. If there's an event, even a small event going on downtown or whatnot, or whatever that is, he'll call and be like, hey, Cody, I'm going to be running tonight. I'll let dispatch know. If an officer or a deputy comes into a situation where they need to get somebody in a car and get them home, or just say, hey, Loveland's working tonight.
Yeah,
It's
I've
great
seen that
teamwork.
firsthand out at Beer Fest a few years ago. There was an officer sitting right there, like pointing at Loveland's ride, like they had the Safe Ride vehicle there, and he go,
Yeah.
probably should be getting in that one there,
Make
just
the right
based
choice.
on the way you're walking.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
Yeah.
Loveland Safe Ride, what a great program. Let's talk about the task force a little bit. What's going on with that?
As most people know that are in social media world, there was, over the last couple years, I've tried to get partnership to have other agencies contribute to the drug task force, and due to budget constraints, that hasn't happened. So I've tried to fund it myself with 2 deputies in there, and at times just 1. And a drug task force cannot function without at least 4 members in it at all times, for safety reasons, for the Oregon law that is laid out when it comes to doing drug buys or having informants. What we've done is I've had a lot of feedback when I mentioned that I was going to have to disband the drug task force for a while. There's a lot of upset people that really want and feel that we need, same as I do, we need an active drug task force. We have drugs coming in and out of Union County. We have people dying. I don't know what the stats are, what the numbers are without having them right in front of me, but this problem is nowhere near under control. It's not slowing down, and it's something that we need to address. So in ways of trying to do this over the last couple of years and find partners and find money, and going literally to the governor of Oregon asking for some help through, whether that's staffing through OSP, whether that's funding, whatever that is, we have absolutely struck out across the board. Our local agencies, they can't afford to contribute. Our state police, they don't have the bodies, they're shorthanded. So what I'm proposing, and I'm going to put this out to you, this is the first time that I've spoke about it publicly, and hopefully this stirs up some questions, but I am looking at possibly trying to achieve a law enforcement levy. And when I say levy, I know everybody gets a little upset because I don't want my taxes raised, but I think that we can get this done, and we can provide a level of staffing that will keep our Union County Drug Task Force up and running and going and flourish over the next 5 years. We're looking very minimal. I know the school bond that came around, was somewhere around $1 per 1,000 of assessed property value. I believe that we can get this done with right around 35 cents, 36 cents. And your average medium household income, $350,000 home, you're looking at a little over $100 a year. So I guess I would ask the people that are online and whatnot, how do you feel about that? Because I am reaching out right at this point stating that I need help from the citizens of Union County to address this problem that we have that affects every single one of us, from our juvenile, our youth that are overdosing, to our adults that are overdosing, to it ties in with the mental health connection and the drug addiction. I would like to have 4 dedicated Union County Sheriff deputies, not around the clock, but the majority of the time, working to disrupt and dismantle any type of drug activity that's going on in Union County. And if that requires a little bit of extra money from the citizens, I guess that's what I'm asking. Is there people out there that are completely 110% against contributing any dollar amount? Would you be upset if you saw this on a ballot come in the primary? Give me your feedback on that. Shoot me an email, give me a call, make a comment online tonight. I need your feedback, because this is something that I think that we can achieve together at a minimal cost, and produce some very good data, produce some consequences to some of our local drug dealers that just don't seem to go away. And you think about, I see a lot of comments online about certain houses in the certain neighborhoods. And with 4 deputies, I could basically park 2 of those deputies on some of these, what we refer to as trap houses or drug houses, where we've had a lot of drug activity. We've had overdose, we had people die. I can post a couple guys up there around the clock, and we're going to address that problem, and we are going to eliminate that problem with an effective drug task force. But I need help. So if you have a comment, you have a concern, if you don't want to say it online, that's fine. Give me a call. My cell phone is, again, absolutely everywhere. Or shoot me an email at the sheriff's office, or give me a call up there. But I'm excited about that. Like I said, I literally just spoke to Commissioner about it today, and to the tax assessor, and to our county clerk. So I'm in the very infant stages of this, but I need feedback. I need to know what the citizens of Union County think about this.
Yeah, people are already in support of it on here. I mean, there's people saying that they'd give you $200 a year. JJ Horse says for this issue, I'd be happy to. Jeremy Boothman says people pay more for Netflix, Hulu, YouTube. Should be a no-brainer. Yeah. But okay, so let's go here with it. Okay. $35, $36.
35 cents per thousand. Yeah.
What exactly does that give me? You
what
know
exactly
what I mean?
what that,
like personnel-wise.
Sure.
Like,
that
are you adding 2 deputies, or 3 deputies, or 4?
Yeah. What we would be adding is 4 full-time patrol positions that would replace,
dedicated to drugs.
Dedicated 4 drug task force officers, one of those being a sergeant to oversee that. So 1 sergeant, 3 patrol. And what that does is we have people that are trained in narcotics right now, drug task force.
Yeah, they would move over.
They would move over, and then we would backfill those 4 new positions with new hires or lateral. They would fill into the patrol position. So we're not losing any patrol coverage that we have right now. Yeah. We're not losing any bodies. We're going to gain 4 positions. And this doesn't affect the general budget. This is not something that our $5.5 million budget that we just got approved for this next fiscal year, this is totally separate from that. What's really exciting about the levy is that there is no way possible that these funds can be taken out of that or used or shifted over to any part. They have to be used for the drug task force. And in doing so, I'm going to line out a clear guideline of this is exactly where every dollar is going to do, from equipment to personnel to time to buys to mics to equipment to help us download cell phones, whatever that looks like. It will be completely itemized, and the public will know exactly where every dollar is going to. Not only that, I would like to see at least every 6 months or at least annual a progress report, if you will. I want to sit down, in front of the principal, and I want to hear the general public. I'm going to show you exactly what we've done over this last year, and give you a progress report, and also take your feedback and listen to what do you think we need to work on, or where do we need to go, or what's a problem in your community, whether that's Union, Embler, Elgin, LeGrand, downtown LeGrand. The city officers are responding from call to call to call. There's no preventative work other than presence, and not taking away anything from them. It's just that they are so busy. They're 2 positions understaffed. They don't have the ability to go out and proactively take care of this problem. Right. We can help that. Union County is my jurisdiction. LeGrand is my jurisdiction. I'm not stepping on anybody's toes, but I'm providing an additional service to our higher traffic areas. What it looks like to me is that if we do like a 5-year levy, if we are not productive in that 5 years and we don't show some honest results, that levy is not going to get voted in again.
Right.
So I will be completely transparent. If you know me, you know I'm transparent as it is, but this is something that is going to take a lot of voter approval, a lot of citizen help, and they're going to expect and demand results from this situation. So that's what I'm looking for.
What about, so when you look at like a staffing pattern per se, is that like 2, are they all 4 day time? Like, would it just be 4 extra guys every day for 12 hours? Or would it be like, would they be kind of like staggered so it puts them on at different times? How does that work?
Sure.
I mean, you don't have to.
I can't.
You don't have it nailed down.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. But what that looks like is you have four patrol officers putting in an absolute minimum of 40 hours a week.
Right.
Task force, drug activity, stuff like that doesn't happen very often. 9 to 5.
No.
So I can tell you that they're going to be out when the problem is out. They're going to be working when the problem is flourishing right now, if you will.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a no-brainer myself.
Yeah, I mean, you look at,
Like-
when I talk about the 35 cents, I mean, literally the 120, you're literally looking to the average medium income or property in Union County, you're looking at $12 a day. That's a pack of smokes. That is,
True.
you know, a meal at McDonald's now.
Yeah.
How many of you can say, you know, at the beginning of every month, I'm going to set this $12 aside because I want to help out my sheriff, I want to help out my drug task force, and I want to make a difference in Union County when it comes to our drug and addiction problem.
Chris Fletcher says, where do I donate money? Chris, you donate money by voting yes when the levy comes out.
Yes, and if everything goes well, hopefully we'll have it. Like I said, I'm in the infancy stages of this, so
Yeah.
I got to learn a lot about it myself. Fortunately, I have great people that are helping, other sheriffs across the state that have done similar stuff. But the plan is to have it on the primary in May, where the registered voters of Union County can say yes or no. And then if they say yes, then it'll probably start in July at our fiscal year.
It just cranks off.
And we start rocking and rolling. Yeah.
So it will be, would it necessarily be a drug task force? Because a task force, the definition of that is multiple agencies working together, right?
For sure.
So, or would it just be Union County drug something or the other?
It would be solely Union County Drug Task Force. Unfortunately, I have tried to include other
Right.
partners. I've tried to get funding, and I will not give up on this. We need this resource in Union County. We have a drug and addiction problem in Union County.
Yeah.
And if we look the other way, like the rest of the state has, and just enable this behavior, it is going to get worse in our homes. And I can't stand for that. I will do everything I can to take that down a notch the best that we can.
Well, and so I was speaking yesterday with Scarfo on the morning show, and if this stuff falls through right, where we're going to get possibly some treatment center
Yes.
here or like nearby.
Close.
There's funding, and that combined with, you know, adding 2 more deputies or 4 total.
Yeah.
To battle this. I mean, I think that takes a bite out of it.
It will show some results. I
has
guarantee you.
to.
It will show some. The state of Oregon is still in kind of conundrum as far as consequences. We don't hold people accountable when it comes to. I mean, the judges, the DA, you know, everybody that's involved in that, they do everything that they can. But Oregon has said we want to enable this problem, and they've created even more of a problem. Measure 110 was somewhat repealed. It gave us a little more teeth in that. However, with the task force, and I say task force because they're focusing on this certain task at hand, right? It will be solely Union County deputies, but amongst that drug task force, you have very seasoned deputies with an assortment of training. Different.
Maybe you should come up with a new name for it.
We can.
I mean, because like when I look at, I mean, why not? If you're not going to get if we can't get the money to get other agencies involved, then let's just leave that in the past and just come up with a new name.
We can, absolutely. I was focused on the drug task force because that's the highlight of everything that's going on. When somebody hears drug task force, they hear me, you know, being loud about it, or it recently got disbanded, or we used to have this great program, or people are familiar with the task force. But if there's a different name that's more appealing, it's not going to change the program,
right? At all.
If it's something that is more identifiable to the voter, that this is something I mean, it could be, you know, it could be Union County residents, you know, whatever that looks like, you know, somebody helping out, you know, the people against narcotics in Union County, you know, something. Anything.
Or I was just thinking more on the lines to just kind of squash the whole task force thing and give us a fresh start. Maybe call it like the Union County NARC team or the Union County whatever. You know what I mean?
I'm all for it. Yeah,
get rid of the
for sure
whole task.
It is a new page. It will be the the last 2 years we've been doing it ourselves, but usually it's been a combined effort.
Right. So
it's going to be a new program, figuratively speaking.
I'm glad you. I didn't even know he was going to talk about that.
I wasn't planning on talking about it because to be honest with you, this has started today.
I have an innate ability to get you to talk.
Thanks.
You know, a funny story about this place here, the studio. A lady used to come in next door, and she'd always like look, and then she asked me one day, "What do you guys do over there?" Like kind of like that too. And I said, "Oh, we shake people down for the sheriff's office," because we had the little chair right here with the light on it because we were shooting pictures for the hospital, the headshots. And I was like, she looks at me and she goes, "Oh, that's cool."
That's cool.
Yeah.
A little waterboarding.
Yeah. We set them in that chair. We put a heat lamp on them until they talk. Yeah, probably not.
Yeah, that doesn't happen.
Dude, so I like the idea. I mean, everybody always asks, what can we do? What can we do? Well, here's what we can do. And it is kind of cliche. It's like, okay, we need more money. We need more money. For sure. But the reality of it is, if it's not coming from somewhere else, this is the alternative. You know what I mean? Like, it's not like you can magically make money. That's not how it works, right? And you have your budget, and you have your guys that are doing what they're doing. Your budget's completely full. And if people want a quote-unquote drug task force, hopefully that name changes, but it doesn't have to, then the way that happens is, you know, we sign a levy, we pass a levy, and then it goes into effect, and it adds 4 narc officers. It's that simple.
Yeah. Yeah, and I definitely think that's a way when we talk about moving the needle. That's definitely a way to make it a difference. And not only that, it's not just consequences and busting people and throwing them in jail. It's getting the new person that's involved in that. You know, with Measure 110 and the way, you know, we have opportunity to reach people before they go down that path.
Right.
And we have resources that we can provide to them. And it's a matter of the trained deputies that we have out there making those connections with people. And you know, just like Skylar said, you know, giving back to this community. This is a way for the average citizen that's not involved in law enforcement to say, I support our sheriff's office. I think that this is something that's needed. I see this problem and I want to help. This is how I want to do it. If that levy shows up, we get it wrapped up. Vote yes on that levy. Yeah. That is an immediate way to assist in your own community.
And this will be happening in all the towns in Union County, not just
a
LeGrand.
union.
It's
correct. Yeah, the drug task force. What we've seen, of course, LeGrand is your high traffic area.
Yeah, I would imagine Elgin's probably second.
Yeah, and when we talk about that, we talk about those funnels coming in. You talk about Interstate 84 going right through the smack through the middle of it. You have 203. You have 244 coming down. You have 204. You have 82 coming in on Elgin. LeGrand is a hub.
Oh,
and we have, and anybody that's watching that is familiar with it, we don't just have a drug problem in LeGrand. I can identify 2 or 3 houses in Union, 2 or 3 houses in Elgin, houses in Somerville, houses in Cove, and those are the houses that are going to be targeted immediately to help clean up those neighborhoods, to tell these people that are trafficking it in that is not an outlet anymore. You're not safe in that home.
Right. BC, Brent, the owner of EO Alive, he always thought it would be a great idea to, once a house got busted, to just put a sign in front of there, you know, in the eaves, you know, in the in between the sidewalk, like, hey, a dope dealer lives here. Just put the sign, walk around in Safeway, follow him, tell him, you know, hey, this guy's a drug dealer. You know what I mean? Because people don't like being, I don't know if it would be great for your health or safety, but people don't like being embarrassed like that. You know what I mean? But I'm all for this whole levy idea. And I mean, if, like you said, if it's 36 cents per 1,000, you said?
Correct.
Of you know, how much you own on your house or property.
Yep.
And it ends up being, for an average house, a couple $100 a year.
Not even. Just like over 100.
$12 a month.
Yeah. And some of our residents in Union County, they own substantially bigger property.
Yeah.
But something for those guys with President Trump right now, they can now write off federally their property tax. So if you are getting assessed more and you're one of those people that are up in the $500 a year or $1,000 a year, that's an immediate tax write-off for you on your federal taxes, paying into your local property taxes. So, something to think about there. Because usually it's, well, I own a lot of property and I'm going to be paying substantially more. Yes, you are. You also have more area for us to cover, and now you get a write-off. So
Vivian Tyler says Lee County in Florida does that. They put signs in the front yard saying that they are drug houses and that they have been busted and are no longer open.
That's awesome. We're not quite at the level of Florida.
No.
Oregon, Florida's a little different,
Yeah.
but if a resident or a citizen wants to, exercise their First Amendment right to free speech, then
We do have
say do it.
a question that we haven't answered yet from Damon Cooper. Cody, is there still any chance of upgrading the jail?
I would tell you, Damon, that we definitely need a new facility. I have identified that in our office. The city has identified that on their end.
Oh, yeah. We've seen the pictures right here on this show.
Yes, yeah. As far as funding wise, bottom line is we have to figure out how to get in our hands anywhere from 50 to 70 million, depending on the facility and who's all in it. And a location is, of course, part of that. Without some type of help from our federal government, our state is not going to help law enforcement. Federal-wise, with President Trump, we have hopefully some optimistic ideas coming our way. Without that, though, I cannot ask the citizens of LeGrand to, a levy for $50 million. It's not going to happen. I can make do with what we have, and we'll continue to make do with what we have based off of the money that we have and the footprint that we have, as long as we possibly can, until there is a funding stream that does not place immediate higher taxes on the local residents of Union County.
There you go. There's your answer, Damon. Wow. What you dropped a bomb on here today, man. I had no idea that this was even a possibility. But I actually, when all that stuff was going on with the task force, with media and everything, I actually thought that in my head. I was like, well, why don't we just tax people a little bit of money and get have a couple more share whatever,
and people,
deputies.
people realize. We do. Our budget's $5.5 million every year.
Which isn't that much.
It's not the amount of people say my taxes pay for your job. In essence, yes. So do my taxes pay for my job.
Yeah.
But at the same time, those taxes provide a very limited amount of where that funding is. It's for the stuff that I am required by statute to provide: the jail, the search and rescue, the civil service, the patrol, the vehicles that come along with those. That's all extra money that we get from, whether that be grants, whether that be additional funding, whether that be contracts with the outlying cities. We're very frugal with we have a $5.5 million budget. So put this into context. We have a $5.5 million budget right now that runs your sheriff's office. So corrections and patrol, about 36 to 38 employees. The jail is 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. We run that facility off of $5.5 million and pay for all the fuel and the rigs, everything that comes along with that. If this levy goes through, there is going to be an additional 3.1, give or take a few, $3.1 million that is solely going to go to the drug task force, or whatever we call it.
3.1 or
no, over 5 years. Over 5 years, yeah.
Okay, so about 800,000.
Yeah, about the average yearly cost is anywhere between $600,000 to $700,000. If you figure in startup, of course, it's a little bit higher.
Yep.
Equipment, training, vehicles. That's even looking at used vehicles, and then it averages out to $600,000 to $700,000 a year to keep that program going.
Well, so I guess the easy answer to all this, and not that it's easy, is if you really truly believe in supporting a drug task force, we're going to have to do it with a tax levy.
Yeah.
It's that simple.
Yeah.
Wow. Keeping it clear with Cody Bowen, brought to you by Safe Ride, Loveland. A great program, Cody. I appreciate you, man. I'm glad you decided to talk about that tonight, because I think it's a great way to just kind of squash some of the stuff going on, with the whole task force idea. Start fresh, and let's try to get something going, and knock down this problem in Eastern Oregon. Well,
I'm not giving up on it. I need some help.
That's great. Thank you all for tuning in tonight. Keeping it clear with Cody Bowen once again. It's a show on transparency. We got some good questions. Cody gave us some good information tonight on what's going to be happening with the drug task force and that moving forward. And we appreciate you tuning in, and we'll see you next time.